So for this video, I'm just gonna rant. But before I start ranting, I want you guys to know that I think I know the answers to most of my problems. I know I need to be kinder to myself. I know I might need to work with my brain instead of against it. And it might mean taking rests, especially when I need it. I know that I just might need to take my medication to feel okay. I know that I just need to make peace with the idea that the world is moving at a pace that's super fast. A pace that not everyone can keep up with because of problems like capitalism, I guess. And it's okay for me to try to not keep up with this very fast-paced world. And just go at my own pace. So I know these things, but like I said, this is a rant video. I just got a rant, and this is my channel, so I'm gonna use it for what I need it for. So I'm David, I'm a video editor based in the Philippines. And in December of 2023, I was diagnosed with ADHD. And here are 5 things that I don't like about my ADHD, but I just have to live with and accept fully. And they're difficult as heck. So let's start with number 1. I just have a lot of difficulty starting with work. I hate how my energy to work just fluctuates every now and then, and I can't really control it at times. So today, literally, I just needed my ADHD meds and some coffee to get started on work. And it was my girlfriend who reminded me that, oh, why don't you just try your meds and your coffee? And yeah, it helped. But yeah, it's extra difficult for me to get started with work, especially with days that I just have zero energy. This whole week has just been me sleeping all day or like scrolling through YouTube on my bed. Did I accomplish stuff this week? Yeah, I did. I edited a trial video for this one company that wanted to make educational videos. So yeah, I was able to accomplish something at the start of the week. I also had a call with someone who was interested in video editing with me. But I still can't help but feel that the work I did is nothing compared to the work that people who have 9 to 5s do every day. I just feel like I'll never survive the corporate workload if ever I do get back into corporate. And it's because of my fluctuating energy. But yeah, like I said, I do know that I just need to take my medication and to maybe drink coffee to boost my energy. But it's hard when I have to take those things just for me to work. And they're costly. Like ADHD medication in the Philippines is pretty expensive, and you need a consultation with a psychiatrist and all of those things. And yeah, they're not cheap. So imagine I need to spend for like a Concerta pill just for me to start work, which is equivalent to maybe a cup of coffee or whatever. But yeah, I just hate how I need to drink my meds just for me to be productive. So yeah, that's the first one. It's just really difficult to start working. It's difficult to move. It's difficult to get myself out of bed, especially when I have no energy. And yeah, that's just it. The second thing I don't like is I just can't sit still for whatever reason. And I think like this is their hyperactivity symptom, where like for kids who have ADHD, they usually can't sit still. They move around a lot. I don't know. When I got diagnosed, I didn't really see myself as someone who was hyperactive. But now that I think I've been more observant, I just notice it. I notice that when I try to work, I always stand up every now and then. I do some stretches, I walk around the house. I even go out and walk in circles outside of my room. Or sometimes I will like play invisible basketball or whatever. Those are things that I notice, and I just can't help but feel frustrated that I just can't sit still without my medication and do the work I need to do without getting distracted with anything else. Sometimes it's task switching. So switching from one task to the other, where I try to do on my laptop and then I suddenly do my laundry, I suddenly clean, I suddenly do XYZ, which is unrelated to the work I need. So yeah, it's frustrating since I do know that I need to be working. I do know that I need to, to do some tasks that'll help me find work as a video editor. And yeah, there was a time before when I tried simulating a 9 to 5 job where I just try to work from 9 to 12 p.m. and also from 1 to 5 p.m. straight, just so I know if I can do a full-time job. And it was challenging. It's the same challenges as not being able to sit still, having difficulty keeping consistent with a task, and a lot of those things. And sometimes I just wish that I didn't have this brain. I wish that I can just sit still and be in the zone every time I want to and not have it like fluctuate. I just wish I can be normal and like work the same way that other people do. Sometimes I do wish I can work the 9 to 5 even if I still think it's boring as heck, since like it's nice to have that option. It's nice to have probably that opportunity to do a 9 to 5 and not worry about your next salary. I don't know. It's frustrating. Like I just can't sit still, and I need my medication just for me to sit still and get started with work. So yeah, even if I do get started with work, that's the extra layer of challenge, like me being consistent with that work I'm doing. Yeah, that's the second thing I don't like. The third thing I don't like is I lose interest and motivation easily when it comes to the things that I'm doing. In the past, I was interested in a lot of things. My first course in college was in electronics engineering, which I honestly found interesting when I was there. But when the pandemic hit, I just lost all motivation to keep going with the course. I wasn't learning as much as I wanted to in the online setup, and plus my professors weren't really good at teaching online yet at that time. And also I had the terror prof, which was making it difficult for me to pass a subject, even if I studied like 2-3 weeks in advance. So yeah, I lost motivation and eventually started exploring other fields or other jobs that I might be able to do. And that's where I got to expose myself to different fields that have no connection to each other whatsoever. During college, I was able to become a software engineering intern for a software company here in the Philippines. Then after that, when I felt like I didn't want to do engineering anymore, I became a project manager part-time for a travel company here in the Philippines. And then when that company didn't perform well, I transferred to become an HR associate for a startup here in the Philippines as well. And then after that, when I realized I could be paid more, I switched into becoming a coach. So I did like a short life coaching certification. When that didn't work, I applied as the advertising associate, which I got in and only stayed for 2 months. Then I became a graphic designer for a nonprofit in the UK. And then after that, I started doing video editing for nonprofits in the UK, which is why I'm doing video editing now, since I felt like that's where I've been good at for the past maybe few years or so. So yeah, I don't like how I lose interest or motivation in things easily, since it just means I don't get to master anything. I didn't get to master software engineering. I didn't get to master HR. I didn't get to master graphic design or video editing, since I kept switching from one thing to another. And now I'm 26. I feel like I should have probably stick to one thing just so I can, like get good at something and at least have like a stable income in that one thing for a couple of years before I switch. But life is life. I didn't know I had ADHD and I kept switching anyway. So like I just have to deal with the cards I have now and try to be consistent with video editing instead of switching immediately. And funnily enough, 2 days ago I almost switched again. I had the idea of doing a physical type of work, like a non-office type of work, since I thought that might be a better career for me, since I do have a hard time focusing when I don't see the thing. So yeah, I wanted to be a barista or a flight attendant or a mechanic, or so yeah, anything that had physical work to do and not digital stuff. I felt like that was something I could explore. But after a while, I realized that the people who are also pursuing that career, they've been working on it for many years. They've been building their skill in that thing, and they're probably more qualified. They're most likely more qualified than me in doing that thing. So if I were to apply as a barista, I probably won't get in. If I apply as a flight attendant, I probably won't, even if it's a nice career probably. Even if I try to learn to be a mechanic, I'm nothing compared to someone who's been doing it since they were 18 or 19 or whatever. So yeah, I think luckily I was able to pull myself back and tell myself that maybe I just need to focus on video editing really for now and try it out for maybe a year, try to build my skills in it and be consistent with it. But yeah, going back, like it sucks just losing interest or motivation in things, since with this video editing gig, I lost motivation in it many times in the past, and that's why I kept switching, and now I'm back, so it's challenging. And I think this goes to my third thing that I don't like about my ADHD, which is my impulse to pursue things, which, can be a problem. It's similar to what I said about losing interest, but here it's like jumping into a new thing immediately. So yeah, in the past, I've been like jumping from one job to another, different jobs to be specific, like jobs that are not in the same industry or the same niche. Yeah, so being impulsive in applying for a different kind of role, like let's say when I was in HR, I also applied for a graphic role, I applied for a video editor role, which I think is not a problem, especially if you're young and you're in your exploration phase. But like I'm 26, I feel like although I'm still young, I still want to at least be consistent with something and not be too impulsive. Yeah, there are a lot of things I was impulsive with in the past, like jumping from one job to the next and not staying in one job for too long. Another reason why I jump is because sometimes I feel like I'm not making the impact that I want to be making. And I also impulsively take courses that I feel like might be interesting to me. So for example, I took a software engineering course, I took a video editing course, I took like a marketing course. So like I keep taking courses that are different from each other, so I'm not able to master one thing. And I feel like that's impulsive in some way. And yeah, I think my biggest regret is like investing a lot of money in courses. For example, the biggest investment that I regret doing is my certification for strengths coaching. So for context, I'm certified in Gallup Strengths Coaching. Gallup is like this company that has the Clifton Strengths Assessment, which gives you like a list of top 10 or top 34 talent teams or strengths that you have, which you can leverage to essentially perform better at work. So yeah, it's a pretty expensive course, which is around $4,000 to be specific, and I paid half of it with my own money. The other half was paid by my parents, which I'm trying to pay back right now, and I still can't pay back since I don't have a job. So that's like a big regret since I invested in something super big that I'm not able to use now since I'm doing video editing and not really coaching. Yeah, so like that impulsivity, I don't like it since I just impulsively spend on things that I don't really need. And I get influenced easily into doing those things. So like for that expensive course, it was a friend of mine who recommended it. And I believed him. I thought that I'll be able to ROI the way that he did, but I didn't since obviously like I'm way younger. No one would take coaching from someone like me. And yeah, like I didn't have the credentials needed to be a coach. So basically, I'm just a 25-year-old who's certified in strength coaching that people won't ask to be a coach since I'm too young. So yeah, I just hate how I invested in a course that I'm not able to use now. You know, I just feel like, I don't know if I can curse. I think that's one thing about me that I don't like. I'm also impulsive with spending. So right now, I just tell myself to not spend anymore, as in don't spend a single cent on anything just because you know you have this problem on impulsivity. And don't believe anyone who tells you that this is a worthy investment since it could work for them, but it might not work for you. So that's one thing I'm keeping in mind now. So yeah, that's another thing I hate about my ADHD, my impulsivity, especially with spending. So yeah, here's the fifth thing that I hate about ADHD, and I think it's my self-esteem problems. I've always had imposter syndrome. I think with every job that I took, I never felt confident enough to it to say that, you know, I'm doing a good job at it. Even in video editing, I feel like there are tons of people out there who are far better than it than I am. So I don't have the confidence to say that, oh, I'm the best out there and I can like do any videos that you need me to. So yeah, even with video editing, I think about whether it's worth it to keep investing in it as a skill or if I'm just wasting my time in something that I'll never really excel at, you know, since I do feel like I'll never be good enough at something. And that's a problem since I do know that one fact of life is you need to invest time in something before you can get good at it. You have to be willing to invest effort into something for you to get better and better and better every day. But if I lose motivation easily and if I feel like I'm not good enough and I just stop, I'll never reach that. And that also results in me switching jobs all the time just because I always feel like I'll never be good at that thing. And that results in me never actually getting good at something. So yeah, that's a big problem, like self-esteem. I always feel like I'm not good enough. Even if someone does say that I'm doing a good job, I often don't believe them. And I feel like this self-esteem problem could probably come from engineering because I usually studied like 3 weeks for an exam and I still didn't pass. So yeah. Like I have a problem with self-esteem and I feel like this still comes from ADHD just because like I've spent a lot of years feeling it and also like my own self-talk throughout my years of growing up. I feel like it's never been positive. It's always been like you'll never be good at something. So yeah, like that's one thing I don't like about my ADHD. Like this is a result of it, probably a result of the ADHD. Overall, just to sum things up, I think all of these feelings that I have, all the negative self-talk and everything that I have in my head right now, especially at this moment, is because I haven't really found a job where I feel like my ADHD can drive. I always feel like I should keep searching and eventually I'll find that one thing that I'll thrive in. And for this video editing career, I'm not even sure if this is it. I'm not even sure if this will be the career that I'll thrive in since I'm still thinking about other careers that I can try. There are times when I feel like I'm in the zone when I'm editing, but there are also times when I feel like I'm not good at it and I shouldn't even try anymore. There are times when I feel like I'm excited to do video editing, but there are also times when I feel like I'm not making progress at all with my career in it. Yeah, and I think like this week has been challenging for me since last week felt like a month of me pushing and making an effort. And that drained me so much, so I have no energy this week to do work at all. So yeah, so this week has been just me resting and trying to regain my energy and trying to get myself back on my feet again just because I lost all my energy from grinding last week. So yeah, so those are 5 things I don't like about my ADHD. I feel like for anyone watching who has ADHD, I hope that you're coping better than I am. And do drop a comment if any of these like resonate with you since, you know, like I feel like it'll help me at least see that I'm not the only one as well. So yeah, I think that's it for this video and hopefully I get to do like good work next week since I'll just be starting over next week. So thank you for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.